Hi, it's Coach Tulane, and I just wanted to touch base with our challenge group. Today we have a new group of people starting, including several graduates. Also in the challenge group are several people who are still in process. And the reason why I wanted to touch base is that sometimes we need this extra reminder. And I hear often, and I value it so much, that a lot of the challengers in the group say, I couldn't have done this program if it wasn't for you or if it wasn't for this group. And a lot of our challengers came in, they already have the program, they just had to incorporate Shakeology, or if they didn't have either, we helped them get the program and the Shakeology. And while I'm completely touched the challenge group plays such a role in achieving their goals or finishing a program they haven't been able to finish before, it's 100% you. Whatever that was the catalyst to get you going. While I love and value I love and value being a part of that journey, I also recognize that if you didn't put in 100% effort to make it happen, it wouldn't have happened. And I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of the challenge group. It's made up of mostly plus-size women. There's several men in the group as well, too. A lot of us could not get through the program before. So my question to you is, what drew you to your coach? What drew you to the person who brought you into this challenge group? And what I often hear is because you kept it real. And I try to stay away from the term real as much as possible because we're all real. We're human, flesh and blood. But what's meant in that is that we're not in our optimum fitness yet, shape, whatever that is for us, that we're still in a journey because we share our process. And I want to remind you of that because a lot of you have seen either my videos or Coach Andrea's or Coach April, or now Coach Amy's been posting hers as well too, who are proudly all my coaches. They all modified. We all modified. When I first started Insanity back in August, this is now 53 pounds ago, 63 inches ago, 5 to 6 dress sizes ago, 8 months ago, I modified heavily. My very first video I posted was really for myself, to see how far I've come because I felt like, as I watched the videos, I can't keep up. I'm modifying a lot. I'm going really slow. What does it look like? And that's what I did because there were times that, I was ready to stop. I've done it so many times before in my life, so what would be any different now? So I took the video to show myself how far I'd come, what I'd accomplished. So when they were jumping, I was doing a single knee raise. That's what I could do. Often it was a few inches off the ground. A lot of times my exercise looked nothing like what was going on the screen. I could maybe only do the first 15 minutes of the Insanity program. I was huffing, I was puffing, I was doing all these kinds of things. I wasn't able to get airborne for 70 days. And I remember the first time I jumped. I remember jumping up and coming down, what that felt like. It felt like I was weightless for a moment. It felt like I was never going to land. That was a really huge part for me because I started off with 330 pounds. I started off on a knee that I dislocated twice, once severely. What it looked like. So that's why I posted that video. And that's what drew a lot of you to the coaches who are in this challenge group, is that we kept it real, that we showed what it was like. We didn't wait until we are after. I would say I'm not an after. I don't think I'll ever be an after. I will always be a work in progress. I think I'll hit goals, absolutely, but I don't think I'm not working towards that after photo because I don't want that to be one moment for me. I want that to be forever, and I want to honor that process so much that if I do start to slip, or if I do just stop, that I go, it's important enough for me to keep going, and my reasons why. So modify. Listen to what the instructor's telling you, whether it's Sean P., Shalini, or Tony Horton. What are they telling you they want to hit in your body? If you're completely unable to do it, I don't care, dance with a crazy woman. Just get through that process. Just go as long as you can, because over time, that modification is going to get better and better and better. It's going to look more and more like what you see on the screen. The same thing for rest and recovery. Puking is not your goal. Heart rate being raised, huffing and puffing, those things are going to happen. Maybe feeling a little nauseous, okay. But your goal is not to try to puke. Your goal is not to try to keep up. Even Sean T, I think he's still in his doing a round. He's actually kicking his own butt in his videos. And he actually, when he goes and checks form, he's actually resting. He says so. I have video that proves it. So rest. Wait until you recover. Do you know sometimes my recovery took an entire exercise? Sometimes it took two when I first started. Sometimes I was huffing and puffing for so long that it took me a while to get my heart rate down um, and my breathing back in check. I didn't go completely to a full rest, but just to get back into a point that I can get back in. And remember, I heavily modified, and I still made that progress. So modify, rest, recover, then jump back in. The other thing is plugging into your challenge group. This is hugely important. You came to be coached. So by being coached means that you're checking in on a daily basis and holding yourself accountable. And not only are you doing that, I want you to think bigger and outside of yourself. You're also motivating the entire challenge group, believe it or not, because they're watching you too. They're motivated by you too, and your story and your process. So I want you to think about that for a second. So you say, I didn't work out today because I didn't have time. No, you didn't work out today because you made an excuse. If you have time to eat, sleep, poop, go to work, you had time to figure out when to work out. If you're really short on time, for example, Insanity has Fast and Furious. There's always a way to make it happen. But when you plug in, it doesn't mean you say, I didn't bring 100%. There is no expectation for you to bring 100%. Remember, it's about modifying and building up over time, right? So what I do want to hear you tell me is if you felt like you didn't do that well, okay, but I want you to tell me what you did do well that day. What did you do? What did you discover that you were able to do a little bit better that day? And what are you going to do to change it for the next time? That is accountability. So if you're not plugging in, I already know what's going on. You're not doing the do. So plug in if you're serious about making change. I don't care if you didn't work out for the last 2 days. I don't care if you went and you ate a gallon of ice cream. What matters to me is that you came back in and went, I did that. It's behind me now, and I'm plugging back in. It's how you keep moving forward that's important. That's what matters. That's a lifestyle change. This is not a diet. This is not a short-term change. It's about changing your life overall for the rest of your life. And that means we still go out and eat. That means we still might have a margarita. That means that we're still going to have days that we'd rather sit in our zebra striped onesie with the feet on them, and I own one. You might want to do that day, and that's okay. But what you do the next day, you jump back in. That's a lifestyle change. And to do your best. That's all I ask you to do is to do your very best. So challengers, I'm really excited for you, and I have to tell you that you've been a huge motivating factor for me as well too. I'm completely real in my process. I'm not perfect. I don't intend on being perfect. I just really value what I do, and I thank you for trusting us. Many of you were strangers. 90% of you were strangers to me that I'd never met before, and you saw my video or my Instagram, and you reached out to me, and I really value that trust. And trust me, each time that you have more successes, it is part of my success. It pushes me that much harder. So just know that a lot of you challengers that are in this group, you may not realize it, but you're some of the greatest coaches I've ever had the opportunity to work with. And thank you for being a part of what we do.